Happy Monday. Man, it's Monday. I am running late. However, I don't know, there's circumstances as to why it ain't that bad. If you were to ask the powers of be, they would say that it's never not that bad. But if you were to ask me, there are circumstances as to why I think it's not that bad. But that's neither here nor there. I'm going to get there when I get there. Okay, so the title is of this live. Wow, it's Monday. I'm sorry. Welcome to Mindful Reality, the channel that covers reality TV from a mental health perspective. My name is Mark, for those who don't know. This is my fourth season covering Big Brother. Four of them things. Four of them things. So, I've covered Big Brother season 24, like a third of that season, and all of season 25 and 26, and I plan to cover all of season 27. Beyond that, it's on a season by season basis. As much as I love this, I have to examine when the season ends and see, was it worthwhile, was it profitable? Those kind of things do matter for my continued, I don't know what I was about to call it, service, but I'm not gonna act like it's that deep of a thing. Just my continued content creation. Let's call it that and leave it at that. Okay? So, here's the thing. Traditionally, for every year, I think up until last year, I don't think another year prior to last year they ever did this. The process of eviction was a simple one, right? ABC 1, 2, 3. So the process went like this: somebody wins HOH, and then the HOH selects two people to be up for eviction. Then they have a veto competition where either the person who's on the block or somebody else who's competing, one of the other competitors in the veto competition, wins the competition and has a chance to take one of the people off the block, and then somebody has to get renommed. So it was very simple for the most part. You pick the two people, one of them might be a pawn, or both of them might be pawns in some cases because you want that replacement nom, but pawns that you're willing to lose. Both of them might be people you want out, but one you might want out more than the other. It could be all kinds of combinations of scenarios like that, but there's only but 4 or 5 scenarios there. And then I know that occasionally they did have powers. They did have the opportunity for someone to get off the block. They did have overthrow. I don't know if it was called that, but they had secret HOHs before. They had things where somebody could get saved by America. It's not the first time that they've had other opportunities, alternative opportunities, both be safe. You know what I mean? But here's why I'm saying that Big Brother is doing too much, in my opinion. First of all, they decided that we have 3 permanent nominees instead of 2. So I get, from last year they were doing the AI arena, 3 people were going up. They teased at the 3 people going up thing because I believe in season 24 there was, who was it? I know Taylor and Paloma, and I want to say, I can't remember the third one off the top of my head. I have a name in my head, but there's no point in guessing. But I know they had at least one 3-person nominee, and they were going to do a competition before Paloma self evicted or was told that it was in her best interest to evict. They were going to do something like what they're doing right now. If you guys think about it, I'm backtrack to that and show you guys what Julie said if you don't remember that. So they wanted to do this for a few years, and it was a few years in the making, and they finally decided to try it last year with the AI arena. Their response is like, let's make it an entire season, right? So it's already bad enough that we have 3 selections, and then some could win the power of veto, take themselves off, or someone can take them off, and then the blockbuster happens, and then someone else can take themselves off, and then, none of your picks, it could be a thing where you pick 3 people and there's scenarios where none of them go home. Now, what's his name? Jimmy seemed to get HOH in one of the worst weeks because he had to make his 3 picks, just like Vince had to make his 3 picks. But then there was 3 powers floating out there, in addition to just the regular power veto opportunity, right? So here's how his thing worked. So in the case of Jimmy's HOH, he picked, let me see if I can remember them. He picked Kelly, Adrian, and who was the third one? Kelly, Adrian, Keanu. Kelly, Adrian, and Keanu. Sorry about that. I do bad when I don't have my notes on me. Kelly, Adrian, and Keanu he picked to go on the block. And then they all played in this power veto competition. So Keanu won ability to double his chances of winning by getting a past legend to come and compete with him, and he exercised his veto right away. And like I said yesterday, I think that was smart of him to do, because it was strongly actually looking like he was going to be somebody who was evicted if he had not done so. And then Kelly gets a power as well, and in Kelly's power, she has a chance to play in a second veto competition, which is a competition which is just her by herself, right? And then there's a third one by Mickey, which is an overthrow, which she's not using, I don't think, for this week. So what's happening here? Keanu got himself off the block. Vince is going to have to pick a 4th nominee, which is normal because they're mostly going to have to pick 4th nominees when somebody gets himself off the block. That's crazy. How's that going to work when we get down to jury and stuff? But anyways, I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But the other thing is, if Kelly, who also exercised her veto power, if she wins that competition that she got, right, Jimmy is going to have to pick a 5th nominee. That has never happened before. And let me tell you about this whole thing. Five nominees, right? Out of the 3 people that he picked, 2 of them can potentially get themselves off of the block this week because of power. And then the last person who is remaining on the block, which is Adrian, still has a chance to win Blockbuster. So it's a chance that all 3 people that he picked are off the table. So now he has 3 potential enemies, right? And then on top of having 3 potential enemies, a person that he might not necessarily have wanted to go home is going to go home, and that could piss off some more people. So an unprecedented 5 picks. If Kelly is to win her thing, 5 picks. People have said, oh, the twists this season are better than last season. Cool. I don't disagree. I'm all for the twists, man. I'm all for all the twists. My only thing is, like, bro, do they have to have all been in the same competition? Because 3 picks is already, like, 3 picks and a veto and a blockbuster is already enough. I already feel a way about 2 people getting a chance every week. 2 out of the 3 picks getting a chance to come off the block. I don't like that. But I've accepted it, whatever. I guess it's modern day Big Brother. But then to add, you get another chance at a veto. You get a second person to play for you in the veto. You get an overthrow. It's week 2, man. Big Brother, we're sitting here in week 2. What's up with you? And then when we have the overthrow power, if Mickey is able to use it, because loose lips sink ships. If she's able to use the overthrow power, then we have a week where somebody makes 3 picks and then has to make 3 more picks. And depending on when she uses it, imagine if there's like 10 people left in the house, right? Imagine if there's 10 people and the HOH makes 3 picks. So because that person is the HOH, that leaves 6 people left on the table. Then they play the power of veto competition and somebody gets themselves safe. So out of 6 remaining picks, 5 of them are able to be picked, and then they have to pick 3 out of the 5. I mean, I guess it's messy. I guess that's one factor that Big Brother is probably going for. It is messy, but I don't know. There's a good kind of mess that I like, and there's like a complicated type of mess. And I think that sometimes less is more. I have said this before. Maybe they are catering. Hi, Mom. Maybe they are catering to their new audience, like the younger population or whatever. I don't know, but I don't know. Like, I feel like sometimes you try so hard to make moments, and you try so hard to, oh, this is gonna spice things up when I put 10 variables in here. But for me, it's like the simple things got to show along for so many years, and adding in 15 twists. I mean, the show has always had twists, but I mean, I feel like they're doing too much. I mean, you guys can feel free to disagree, but that's just my thoughts about it. You can let me know in the comment section. As always, comments don't hurt my feelings. They never have. Except for that one time where the comments had nothing to do with Big Brother. That was one time when I was not for the comments, but anything related to Big Brother, agree with me, disagree with me, I don't care. I don't lose sleep at night. I read the comment, I move on. Oh, this person this person does not agree with my opinion. Okay, everyone's allowed to have one. It is what it is. So what do you think? What do you think of having these 3 powers in addition to having the 3 HOH selections, and the fact that Jimmy could potentially have to make 5 picks in 1 week, which is a third of the house on week 2? Let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get notified of when I drop some more great content. Enjoy your Monday, y'all. I'll be back.